Right. All right, I'm here with my friend Brad Lanning, a national touring headlining comedian. He tours all over the country. He tours places like, let's say, Indiana, West Virginia, down Nashville, Tennessee, Chattanooga. You name it, he's been there. All across the Midwest, Detroit, South Carolina, North Carolina, everywhere. He's a national touring comedian. Brad, I got one question for you. What has been your worst comedy gig ever?
Well, I mean, I was talking to you about this a couple days ago, and there's a lot to choose from, really, but I think the one that stands out is like the one that was the most uniquely bad was a state fair, or not a state fair, a county fair out in the country in Kentucky. About 4 or 5 of us went to do this show, and we got to the show, and we realized that
was it a state fair like the Kentucky State Fair?
No, it was a county
like
fair.
A county fair. Like pigs and wheelbarrows.
Yeah, there was a guy with chainsaws, like doing like log art and stuff. like all the rides looked like you just wouldn't put a kid on it that you liked. Like if you didn't like the kid, yeah, you can go on that ride.
Right.
But
like you put a step kid on the ride.
We got there and there were about they told us that we were performing outside, which is always kind of a challenge. And it we were performing to a like these stands, like these seating for a horse track where they did harness racing during the fair, and they were doing harness racing before, and there were maybe 100 people in there.
So they're like in bleachers.
Yeah, bleachers. You could fit 3,000 people in there. There were probably 100 people watching the horse races, and most of them left after the horse. The horse race was really sad too, because the last race, there was a huge pile up in one of the corners. Some of these drivers, they were clearly overweight. Like these guys weren't like professional harness racing jockeys. But I mean, it was sad because there were 2 of the horses that had to be put down on site.
They had to kill the horse.
Yeah, they had to kill the horses
before the show or during the show.
Before the show, right before the show.
So now everybody's sad.
Everybody's sad, and the ones that we had 15 people in the crowd now, and we do the show out in the middle of the track. A guy pulled his truck up and had a work trailer attached to it, and he had speakers on it, and he plugged all the speakers in. The people were literally 100 yards away from us, so that the intimacy and the connection just wasn't even there.
Wasn't even.
Yeah.
So you're on the back of a trailer.
It was me and Mike Chandler, Mike Nilsson, and Renan Hirschberg, and Renan had the funniest thing because he was you couldn't hear people laugh even if they were laughing. So he said if they enjoyed the joke, he had them raise their hand.
That's stupid. So everybody's in the crowd.
It was one of those things I was Renan's is this gonna be the worst show ever? And I'm
it's the worst show
it
ever.
Might be. And I was I think we'll do fine as long as we don't try to be funny. As long as we don't try to comment on the absurdity of this whole thing. We just say our words and get the check and leave.
And get the fuck out of Dodge.
Just get out of there. We're gonna be fine. And of course, I start in on what everything that's wrong with this show. And the guy's waving the check at me. And he's like, "Do your jokes. Do your jokes." And it's
oh man, that's
it was
terrible.
awful. The ride back was so much fun though. We just laughed.
Hey, this is my friend Brad Lanning, a national touring comedian, and that has been the worst comedy show ever. Peace.